So here we are. The Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth. In a way, it was the game, it was the thing that introduced me to Lovecraft. I read one or two of his stories before. I hadn't clicked as to the epicness of the mythos then. And then when I played this game, it gave me a visual format that I'd never seen before, and just, I was sold. Never looked back. I've worshipped our Lord and Saviour Cthulhu ever since. So we'll have a wee look at it, eh? Here we go. Was it a dream? I cannot say, but I hope so. For they cut me out. Nothing bad happens in Arkham Asylum.
I can fully see. My last case opened me a new fear, a real fear, a fear of myself, what I am, and of what I've always been. All that I was is now lost. Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadows between worlds, and it is there I have finally glimpsed upon what lives in the dark corners of the earth.
I like the way you smile at me, baby.
This is exactly like I was after a shift at the press. Maybe he's just worked there. Damn, being able to write like that with your own blood? That man's had some practice. A lot of practice. Yes. A lot of people complained about the loading times for this game. I personally was never particularly bothered by it. Long loading times don't bother me. Game tips are currently active. I've played so much of this that we're going to turn them off. JPW.
Robert, this had better be good. What's the beef?
Sorry, Jack. We had to call. This fellow will only talk to you. Name's Victor Holt.
Don't know any. Victor?
He's the leader of this weird cult that moved in here a few months back. Got about 20 followers. They've been causing trouble all over town. Stealing, going through folks' trash. Hanging around outside people's homes at all hours.
Swearing,
No one ever presses
picking
charges,
their
though.
noses.
They're a screwy bunch. Got the locals scared. So tonight, we were just passing, doing the normal rounds, when we heard gunshots fired from their property.
Gunshots? Hang on there. No one said anything about gunshots. Who have we got out here?
Yeah, just me, Nichols, and a few new recruits.
Well, that's just great.
Awesome. Couple
Lead
of
the way, Robert.
NPCs and some
I better
red
check out this
shirts.
crazy gang of yours.
Ooh, having a look around. Look at that. Beautiful.
The boys have cordoned off the area. Must be serious.
Where's me jump key? Yeah, where's me use key?
Hurry up, Jack.
Standard police vehicle. The boys need my help. I'm staying put.
Oh, I was hoping I'd go GTA on this. I mean,
How you doing, kid?
Good, sir. Is it true what they say about you?
Depends on what they're saying.
That you've cracked cases where there was no evidence?
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Right.
Always questions I'm in no mood for answering.
nice big ominous staircase. Loving it. What could go wrong in Arkham?
Jack, Officer Nichols will brief you at the top. Be careful.
It's taking him so long. Something must be wrong. I think I saw him with Officer Armstrong. Just...
Evening, Jack. Glad you could join the freak show.
How's it looking, Henry?
I don't like this one bit, Jack. Check the alley on the right. Victor Holt's over there in the shadows. He's waiting for you.
Can we trust him?
Nope, but we've got you covered. You better take it slowly, though. They're a bit twitchy.
No shit.
Try to stay calm.
You better hurry, Jack.
He's on his way. Be careful, sir. For Christ's sake, Jack. Go.
Oh, God. Run! Yeah, let's run inside the house filled with armed people. Go! No, it's locked!
Oh, shit. I can't open it. Damn. Looks like I'm stuck. I might as well check this place out.
Hell yeah. Ah, look at the little raddies. And that one's... Oh, he's jogging on the spot. So's that guy. We've had a rat exercise area. Hey, boys.
That one to the right taking cover. Kill him.
You're not talking about me, are you? Of course not. Ooh. Looks like my bedroom.
It looks like an eye, but the rest of the painting has no real shape. It looks like an eye, but the rest of the painting has no real shape.
That's because it's probably a Shoggoth, my friend.
This blasphemous image makes me feel uneasy.
Lord Cthulhu, it's always good to see you.
There's one over there. On the left.
A powerful painting of some cosmic horror.
Looks like a dark young of Shobnigger. There's a smaller Shoggoth. And there. Wow.
A depiction of some alien creature. It's a strange painting, but it reminds me of something.
That acid trip you went on in college.
As I continue to translate the narcotic fragments, I become more and more eager to contact my Yithian masters. These beings truly are gods to us. Their intellect and knowledge surpasses ours in ways impossible to comprehend. I know now just how insignificant mankind is in the universe, a doomed and simple species thrown up as a side effect of an experiment by the elder things. It is a blessing that such flawed creatures as ourselves have such a short and limited future.
Interesting. Sneak mode. Where's its eye? Nice. Very handy. Should have been able to guess that one. Here we are. Oh, look at him. He's an ugly bastard. Morphine, not yet available. Oh, goody, yeah. Yeah, so you can come in here and they have all these diary entries and stuff. You can pause it, I guess, and read it if you want to. Or, I don't know, if people want me to, I could read it out, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Either way, the story that's in these is pretty good, so I might actually read them out. But not this particular one. Just mucking around at the moment. So we got... Yeah, there's a... We have no Mythos 2 manuscripts. It's never a good idea to read those things anyway. Unless you like being batshit insane, in which case, read away.
That symbol's strange. Looks almost like a flaming eye. I should take a closer look.
Kill them all!
Man, they really like those paintings. They doubled them up. There's our save game. Look at that. You can actually unlock stuff.
Pathetic bastard!
Save at these points, and when you save at the pentagram points later on. Not 100% sure what. Can't remember.
It's locked.
Kill them all!
Go upstairs then, I guess. Man, what is up with cults and not looking after their place of, you know, they're not crazy, but I've known some crazy people who are pretty damn good at cleaning. Just saying. Oh dear. Go. Let's have a look.
At last!
You seem to recognize me. I don't get it. His body is covered in tattoos, and they were carved into his flesh with something sharp. Empty ammo boxes and spent shells. Nothing useful. What a nut house. The walls are covered with glyphs.
Interesting.
Don't shoot. I'm unarmed.
Ah, we've been expecting you, Mr. Walt.
Oh! Oh! Jeez! Well, there's that key we're looking for.
A key. This should help downstairs.
I'm not putting my head out. Nope, we're going well away from that area. Oh, goody. Suicide. Awesome.
Poisoning by the looks of it. He's dead. They're all dead.
Notice that blurriness. It's the sanity effects in this game. When you look at horrible things, your sanity starts to fray. And the more you look at it, the worse it can become. Ooh. Hello.
A diary. This will make interesting reading.
You're damn right.
Nothing of interest. Suicide. Or rather, mass suicide. These nuts had some serious issues.
Let's have a wee look at that, shall we? Come down here. Let's have a wee look. Thanks. What do we got? What do we got? Diary of a cult member. It sounds like a teen drama mixed with Cthulhu. I like it. August 20th, 1915. We've been watching him now for 2 months. I can feel my anticipation growing as the day of contact draws near. Victor has not yet divulged his final plan for bringing Mr. Walters to us. All I know is that we must succeed. August the 24th, 1915. The sermon today was inspiring. Victor enlightened us with a story of the great race transcending the bounds of time to visit his dreams. Of the conscious things on this earth and in the ocean depths, we are but servants to a greater design. I can only hope that my faith during these last days will win me favor when our masters step through the gate. August 29th. The experiments below have claimed one more of our order. Another volunteer is needed, but many are willing. We are truly blessed through our faithful service, now that his coming grows so close. September 3rd. The preparations are complete, and Victor's plan is in motion. He will arrive soon. Surely by now he must suspect his true nature, or at least question the nature of his gifts. September 6th. He has come. Finally, it begins. Well, that's not fucking ominous.
It's unlocked.
Uh-oh.
Another key. I don't understand. I mean, all of these photos. All of them. There must be some kind of mistake. Why would they want me here? It must be an old case. Something I've forgotten. Some screwball with a grudge, maybe. Think. I've gotta think.
And day 13, 8 o'clock, leave home. 8:30, arrive at station. Wouldn't it be so funny if just in there it just said had a wank? That would be truly. Oh, I'd love it. Now that's true stalking. Oh, let's leave this room of insanity.
It's unlocked.
Oh, library. Oops. Well, that sounds promising. So we've either found torture chamber or somebody's on the toilet.
It appears to be a private study area.
Definitely sounds like he's having a really bad shit.
The drawer holds an ancient manuscript. the symbols on the front seem to be written in classical Greek.
Nothing bad ever happened from reading one of these. Let's read it out loud. The Boston Globe. Well, let's have a look. Enlightened or duped inside Boston's strangest church. 20th of August, 1909. Those of our readers who live near its headquarters in an ordinary-looking Boston residence will need no introduction to the Fellowship of Yith, brackets, whatever the cult's name is. For those who have not encountered this mysterious semi-religious group before, a few words of explanation are necessary. Since our country's founding upon the basis of religious freedom, its shores have been home to many small religious groups outside of the mainstream. No small number are headquartered in the states of New England, where the pilgrims themselves sought a new world free of religious persecution. But the question must be asked, at what point does a religion become a cult, and its trusting adherents, not to mention its blameless neighbors, become victims? That is the question that this journal poses in regard to the Fellowship of Yith. In a month-long investigation, our intrepid reporters have diligently sought out the truth behind this so-called church. Its origins are somewhat mysterious, but more so since the group's leaders declined to be interviewed or to assist our investigations in any way. However, it seems that the Fellowship was founded more than 20 years ago by one Victor Holt, based on a revelation he had received from beyond the confines of this world. Holt has not been seen for almost 6 years. His followers apparently believe that he is communing with the mysterious powers behind his faith, and that he is shortly to return with new insights and teachings. All this sounds like a harmless, eccentric spiritual group, little different from many others. However, those who make their homes near the Fellowship's headquarters tell a different and more sinister story. The adherents of this obscure sect are to be found loitering on street corners, casting menacing glances at their innocent neighbors, and frequently engaging in acts of petty crime, and swearing which the local police seem powerless to prevent or redress. Strange lights have been observed burning in the windows of the old house at all hours of the day and night. They change colour unpredictably and cast weird, unintelligible shadows. Holy shit, it's a Yithian nightclub. Even more disturbing are the noises which have been heard to issue from within the mysterious building. They include chanting, unearthly music, and, worst of all, screams like those of lost souls in agony. Many of the sect's neighbors are convinced that its services include human sacrifice or similar atrocities. Those few who dared complain to the police were told that because the house is private property, and because there is no concrete evidence of any wrongdoing, the most they can do is file a noise complaint. Are the horrors of Salem being reenacted in our city more than 2 centuries on? Is this Fellowship of Yith engaging in unspeakable and criminal acts of worship involving torture and sacrifice? Why is nothing being done to erase the fear and distress they cause to the local community? A source within the police department, speaking on the condition of anonymity, told the Globe the Fellowship is suspected of involvement in a number of local crimes. But so far, the lack of evidence and the reluctance of nervous witnesses to come forward have thwarted any official investigation. Very well, we say, where the police cannot or will not investigate, the Globe shall continue to act in the interests of Boston's citizens, fearlessly exposing the truth about this so-called church and its followers. Our findings will be published in these pages over the following months, so that all may know the truth. Editor's note. It is with great sorrow the Globe announces the death of reporter Howard Edelstone, who was leading the paper's investigation into the Fellowship of Yig when he apparently drowned in Boston Harbor. The coroner has ruled his death a suicide. Our condolences go out to his family. Oh dear, poor man. We got our first Mythos tomb. Nice. The Narcotica. This manuscript looks medieval, but claims to be a translation from classical Greek of a far older work from before the time of the first humans. The pages are stained, faded, and even burned in some places, making reading difficult. The legible sections tell the history of unthinkably distant antiquity. They speak of races so strange as to be beyond human comprehension, and wars fought across vast gulfs of time and space. There are concepts so utterly alien that they sound like absolute madness. Time travel, flying polyps, mental projection, the great race of Yith. Makes you dizzy just to read it. Very interesting.
It appears to be a private study area.
He's not wrong.
There are definitely some strange sounds coming from this side of the room.
One minute, look at this. It's Jack Walters.
For nutcases, they seem quite literate.
Jack Walters. Hey!
Shit, that did not sound
The worst case of taco shit I've ever heard.
good. Well, that's just swell.
Brilliant.
He's dead. The beam must have fallen and crushed his skull.
Bodies in the walls.
This tunnel feels like it's gonna collapse at any moment.
It's a bit different. These people where all those surgeries are happening.
From the markings, he must have been one of their own. I wonder if he volunteered. They must have been trying to preserve the bodies.
Tomato sauce and mustard.
Seems like these cabinets are used for storing chemicals and medical equipment.
Ooh.
Good God, what the hell is all this? I've never seen such equipment before. Who could have made such a machine? His internal organs have been removed and spread across the room. This insane contraption looks like it's keeping him alive. Looks like his stomach. The contraption above seems to be controlling his breathing. His beating heart. Looks like his brain. I wonder what those wires are for. This pipe must drain the waste from his intestines. Looks like his kidneys. They're moving around in all that liquid.
A button. Goodbye.
Shit. I'm not touching it again.
Whoops. Well, if my role-playing group has taught me anything, if you're playing Call of Cthulhu and a guy with organs and stuff removed dies by your hand, fucking loot the place
The crystal's still warm.
and get the fuck out. Thanks for the XP, buddy. And down we go into more bells. Oh, awesome. Let's try and touch.
Ah! It's too hot to pick up.
Nothing bad could happen in here, right? Large, ominous-looking gateway. Pool filled with... what? Black shit?
Odd. It looks like it's full of mercury.
Oh, mercury. Let's shove it in
It
then.
looks like something's been removed from it.
Go into our inventory. Find our crystal. In we go. Let's press the button. Jesus, is that you? Oh God, it's not Jesus. Ominous. It's what we like, though.
It's been more than 6 years since I entered that strange house in Boston. But to me, it was just 5 months ago. Amnesia, the doctors called it. Probably brought on by acute mental stress. I remember investigating the far side of the library. There was screaming. According to the police report, they had searched the house for hours, only to find me later collapsed on the floor. When my eyes opened and I spoke, my colleagues recoiled in fear. There was something unnatural in my voice and blank gaze. They committed me to an asylum, where I was diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. As it became clear that I presented no danger to either myself or others, I was released from the asylum's care. I have learned little of my activities in the 6 years that followed. The accounts I've been able to piece together show much of my time was spent in travel and study.
Some famous book titles.
I maintain
there.
a fanatical infatuation with the occult, delving
Anyone
deep
who
into
reads
volumes
Lovecraft.
concerning witch cults and dark legends, often in languages unfamiliar to my own. When I reawakened 5 months ago, exactly 6 years after entering that house in Boston, no trace was left of what had been a secondary personality. I was myself again, or at least what I believe myself to be. Return to normal life has been a painful process. In recent days, my dreams have been plagued by cosmic landscapes, and I've become fearful of my own reflection. I am beginning to remember things from that day, more than 6 years past, that I've told.
Jack Walters.
Hello, Mr. Walters. My name's Arthur Anderson. I need your help finding a missing person.
I don't take that kind of job.
Did you get my package?
Hold on.
Yeah, take a drag on the cigarette, mate. Ah, the 20s and 30s, eh? It's totally a fleur-de-lis cigarette.
What exactly do you want from me, Mr. Anderson?
It's one of my store managers, you see. Brian's his name. Ryan Burnham. Nice lad. He disappeared recently from the First National grocery store in Innsmouth.
Innsmouth? Never heard of it.
It's a small fishing town on the coast, not far from Arkham. I'd like to see you in person before you leave.
Hold on there a minute. I didn't agree to take this what the hell? I'll be here all day anyway.
Night. I have a new client, Mr. Arthur Anderson, the regional manager of the First National grocery store chain. It appears that the First National grocery in Innsmouth was recently burglarized, and its manager, one Brian Burnham, is missing. From what I've been able to gather, Burnham is something of a young rogue. A friend of the family, Mr. Anderson gave him the job as a favor. Burnham is looking like the prime suspect for the robbery, but there are a few things that don't add up. Not to Anderson, and not to me. For instance, why would Burnham force an entry into the store when he had a full set of keys, free access to the cash register, and the combination to the back office safe? To misdirect any investigation? If that was his plan, why did he disappear? Following my conversation with Mr. Anderson, I found out what I could about the ancient town of Innsmouth. For generations, the crumbling seaport and its people have been shunned by neighbouring communities. Outsiders are unwelcome there, and there are superstitious tales of a strange element in the town's oldest families. They are of mixed blood, so the stories go. Whatever that's supposed to mean. The usual hick-town prejudice, no doubt. After making a brief visit to Innsmouth, my client came away distrustful of the local authorities. He isn't buying their line that Burnham robbed the place and wants to know what happened to him. Only one bus goes to Innsmouth, and tomorrow afternoon I'll be on it. It feels good to have a purpose after 5 months trying to break through my amnesia. I also feel a little apprehensive. Maybe it's the wild stories about the town, or maybe it's just because I haven't had a case for so long. February 6th, 1922. This job brought to you by Bubble Pep. Fleur-de-lis cigarette and Bubble Pep are funny little adverts from the Dark Adventure Radio Theatre, Lovecraft audio dramas. Honestly, hands down, the best Lovecraft audio out there available. Done by the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. Seriously, check that website out. There is some awesome Lovecraft stuff on there. I personally own almost all of the audio dramas, and a collection of Innsmouth sea shanties. So, honestly, get over there, have a look what they've got. They've even got a parody of Fiddler on the Roof. Nothing bad happens in Innsmouth, ever.
Driver, how far did you stop?
Almost there. I'll drop you at the town square.
Why lock the gates?
Keeps out wanderers looking for work. You don't want those folks like that interfering with our affairs.
Is the bus from Arkham always this empty?
Aye, and we prefer it that way. Not many come to Innsmouth.
But what about trade? Surely the port needs business.
Innsmouth has the means to look after her own.
They nailed this bus. It's exactly what I imagined when I read Shadow over Innsmouth. And we'll have a little look around Innsmouth, and then we'll end the video there.
This is it, stranger. End of the line.
You're about to see some of the ugliest people ever. Look at this guy.
Could you direct me to the First National Grocery Store? I hear they have a shop in town.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, well, you see, I'm looking for a young lad called Brian Burnham. I'm a friend of the family. He worked in the store.
Don't know who you're talking about, fella.
He's not the ugliest.
Chit-chatting to him's gonna get me no place fast.
I love me some wild cherry tonic. Oh yeah, look at this guy. Now that's a face.
I'm looking for Brian Burnham.
Can't help you.
You sure, man?
Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Damn rightly says I know it.
Alright.
This
Great.
town's deserted. Where is everybody?
If you don't like it, just turn around and leave.
Very friendly. Oh look, the law. Now that's an attractive man.
That way's blocked by a police line. Excuse me, Constable. Jack Walters.
Robes. Alien robes. What do you want?
Could you help out a stranger to this fine port?
Are you being funny?
No, not at all. I'm after directions to the First National. I hear they have a store in town.
Innsmouth don't take too kindly to them from out of town. Get lost, stranger.
Friendly.
That fellow was just stringing me along with a lot of nothing about nothing. I'm looking for Brian
We're in the wrong place, asking the wrong questions, outsider.
This statue commemorates the men who fought in the Revolutionary War. It's seen better days.
Certainly has. Ah, yes. Anybody who's read Shadow over Innsmouth knows those words there. And if you don't, well... that's where we're meant to go in there.
It's the First National Grocery Store.
Let's have a look around Innsmouth, shall we? Charming little town. Awesome. A body being dragged. Are you a hallucination, my dear, or real?
Evening. The name's Jack Walters. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss...
Miss will do for now. Welcome to Innsmouth, Mr. Walters.
Thanks, I think.
Take my advice. Do what you must and then leave. Tonight. This port does not cater well to visitors.
While I appreciate your concern, miss, I can handle lousy hospitality.
Very well, Mr. Walters.
Hello again.
Mr. Walters.
Look, miss, I only want a conversation. There's no harm in that, right?
There's plenty of harm. It's not wise to be seen gossiping with outsiders.
How about playing dumb for a few minutes?
No.
I'd say she's like really attractive.
Can you at least tell me if you knew the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Oh, just wait.
Look here, Mr. Walters. I can't answer your questions, and your harassment is putting us both in danger. Please, leave me alone.
In danger? From whom?
The order. Now go.
As I was saying, you know, she's attractive, but considering what I've seen in this town, she could be the most plain woman in the world and still look utterly adorable in this town with this people. John Bros. Marsh Refinery. Another famous place. Seen better days. See now, I think one of the other things I love about this is in Shadow over Innsmouth, all of these streets here, they exist. They're mentioned in the story, and they've done, you know, they've tried to map out Innsmouth, and I appreciate that. We'll leave him till he's, you know, a wee bit later. That's a good character, though. Voice acting for him's superb. So we head along here. I got one last thing I just remembered.
Some poor soul's hung herself. Why the hell hasn't she been taken down? It's no wonder the town's deserted.
It's not good. It's not good.
Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked...
Stop your pestering with questions.
So, back at the bus, this is where we'll end.